my presentation is on Prader-Willi syndrome, and this syndrome is actually one of the rarest forms of positive obesity. Is anyone ever heard of this or know anything about it whatsoever? Yeah? How did you hear about it or know about it?
I have a family friend who works with people with this syndrome.
Awesome. Yeah. So this is just kind of to get the awareness out there, and this is my presentation. So imagine this feeling. You wake up and you have a test and you are late for your test, so you skip breakfast. You get to your test, the only thing you can think about during your test is you're so hungry and you haven't eaten breakfast and you're trying to think what you had last night for dinner and you realize you didn't even have dinner last night because you were studying for this test. Finally, you get out of class, you're around like 2 or 3 in the afternoon, and your friend calls you and says it's an emergency and they need your help right away. And so you rush over, you're helping your friend, and you finally get done helping with your friend. It's now like 8 o'clock in the evening. You're starving. The only thing you can think about is food. Everything just looks like food to you. You do anything for food. If you saw Brussels sprouts that you hate and you despise, you've never liked them in your entire life, you just eat them on the spot. This is what someone with Prader-Willi has to deal with every day of their life. So the study that's currently going on is Prader, and it's a specific inhibitor, or it's a specific enzyme. It targets this enzyme, and it tries to really like overproduce this enzyme. And this enzyme is the enzyme that makes you feel full. So the satiety feeling when you eat a really big meal and you're just like, I'm just so full I couldn't eat anything. Prader-Willi kids don't feel that at all. So you can eat as much as you want and never feel full. And yes, that may seem like good now, and you say, oh yeah, that wouldn't be bad, but it's actually really terrible. And so what exactly is Prader-Willi? It's a genetic disorder that comes from the 15th chromosome of the mother either being depleted, meaning there's only one 15th chromosome from the mother, not 1/15 mother, 1/15 father, or there's 2/15 of the mother. And the main result from Prader-Willi is severe obesity, but there are a lot of other things that go along with it, such as your growth is really stunted. For instance, Prader-Willi kids barely get over 5 feet sometimes, boy and girl. Metabolism is extremely slow, so we have a 2,000 calorie diet average, theirs is 1,200. So on top of being starving all the time, you only get to eat 1,200 calories a day, which also isn't very fun. Appetite, obviously, and behavioral and development. So a lot of outbursts do occur because if you think about it, you're starving all the time and your metabolism's really low, so you're saying, well, I'm really, really hungry and I'm not getting the food because if I do eat the food, I'm just going to be eating food. So there's a lot of outbreaks that tend to occur, physical outbreaks of like tantrums, basically, mental and physical. So the 3 categories that Prader-Willi kind of falls into is 10% of the people with Prader-Willi are really, really low kind of category. They're not really obese, but they're still there. Then there's the 80%, which is the main obese, and then there's the extreme cases, which really obese. These are just a few pictures. You come on the internet, you search up Prader-Willi syndrome. So as you can see, stunted growth, clearly obese, and it's a genetic disorder, so there really isn't a cure whatsoever because we don't have that genetic mutation that we can kind of like, just go in the genome and fix it. So there is no cure, but these treatments that the belanorid and MET-AP2, which are just the target inhibitors, are what's currently going on right now, and are actually one of the most unprecedented because nothing like this has ever occurred. And the only reason I started this presentation is because the teacher said something about leptin, if you guys remember the word leptin, and that just like kind of sparked my mind because my mom had told me about that, and I was like, oh, that has this effect of reducing satiety. And so this is my sister, and as you can see, it's kind of, slightly different, but I think she falls in the 10% of the lower, which I'm quite proud of because it's really something that you can kind of control with your environment that you're put into and the way you kind of handle things. And so my mom's really good about maintaining her diet, and she, for whatever reason, decided she loves Zumba, and she goes to like 7 Zumba classes a day. But yeah, it's really a genetic disorder that has no cure, but we are currently looking for a cure. So some of the desired effects of this inhibitor, target enzyme inhibitor, are controlling the lipid and fat and cholesterol deposition. So really just like taking, so this drug is specifically targeted for people that have Prader-Willi. Not so much that people are just kind of like obese, but it does affect this. It's really like a symptom because there's no cure. You can't just like change the genome, but taking the symptoms they have, so obesity, lots of lipids, cholesterol, and fat, and reducing that. And the inhibitor focuses the hormones. So it's not, they're not like changing the genome at all, like I said, but it focuses on really overproducing this one hormone, and that hormone they have associated with anorexia, and so it's an induced anorexia, which is the current cure. And this, in this study that we can talk about in a little bit, the immediate drug effects that they have, those were the desired drug effects, but these, like what they actually found out happens, is the fat does not synthesize as quickly, which helps in not causing obesity, as well as decreasing fat that is already currently there, and as well as inflammation and the big thing, hunger and food intake. So if you're not hungry all the time, you don't eat as much, therefore you don't have as much fat synthesis. Some of the long-term effects that they did find, which is quite good, the weight loss, which is one of the big things, as well as controlling lipids and inflammation throughout the body, which is fantastic. So blood pressure and liver as well, slightly less. But so the real thing, this drug study, does anyone think they know which phase the drug is in currently? Random guesses? 2? 3? It's actually, right now, 2016, they currently have 3, which is huge because nothing's ever gotten past 2. And so to have something in phase 3 is actually really promising. And after phase 3, they get to release it to the public, which has never been done before for any sort of drug, like actually approved fat-reducing, fat-decreasing drug. Phase 4 is post there, that's proposed for 2020. So this was phase 1. The 12 deletions is the only mother, one chromosome, and the uniparental diome is the both. They have 2 of the same. So growth hormone, additionally, they have that's a treatment that has been released. That's the only one that's ever been released. But yeah, as you can see, percent body fat, 51.7% body fat on average. This was only 13 people. This was the phase 1 trial. The phase 3 trial, which is currently going on right now in 2016, is quite promising. They have a lot of participants, 102, which is one of the biggest they've done. My sister got, we wanted to have her participate, but they wanted people that were either in the 80% or the higher 10%, so we couldn't. But they do tend to have a little bit of, they exclude certain people like living in homes because over 50% of the time because they're more regulated, it's the environment that's gone. But yeah, so this is a completely unprecedented drug that is really, really tied to me because of my sister. And it's going to be applicable not only for Prader-Willi, but for just reducing symptoms in general. And yeah, that's it.
Could you explain how this drug works again? So you mentioned leptin. Is it targeting leptin?
Leptin was what triggered my, what I wanted to do this study on, but it targets the MET-AT2, which stands for methadone peptase, which is a specific enzyme, and that enzyme is associated with like anorexia, so that enzyme overproducing causes people to say, oh, I'm not actually that hungry, when in reality they are.
So is that enzyme, is that enzyme in the brain? It's involved in signaling of this I'm no longer hungry, is that how it
Yeah,
works?
so
Okay,
it's the enzyme that the drug is targeting to overproduce and cause that.
gotcha, very good.
Any questions?
So if the drug induces anorexia, then do people just stop eating in general?
Ooh, I think it's more of like it balances it out in a way because right now they don't feel full whatsoever. So for them to feel at all full gives them like what we kind of have now is like these big meals and you're kind of like I'm full, whereas like I haven't eaten for 3 days, but I'm not hungry kind of thing. Yeah, so it's not like extremity. It's kind of like it balances it out.
Very nice.
Thank you.